Which reminds me, the Klavanless weekend is already, I mean, this week just sped by. The Klavanless weekend is here. We actually have video today of the Klavanless weekend approaching.
For each second of silence, you will drop closer to the boiling oil.
Oh!
Speak! I'm losing patience.
No!
If you don't, nothing will be left of you but the bone.
That is frightening. All right, since everything has become showbiz, let's start with this exciting clip of Elizabeth Warren and Alexandria Occasional-Cortex discussing Game of Thrones. They're discussing how Game of Thrones ended, because if there's one thing we all care deeply about, it's what our elected officials think about what we're watching to entertain ourselves on TV. This is why we send them to Washington, D.C., because we need them to discuss our entertainment. For those of you who are not Game of Thrones fans, and one of the things about this stuff is everybody's talking about Game of Thrones, but only about 10 million people, I think, watched it. So, I mean, that's a lot of people, but it's not a great percentage of the people in the country. But if you weren't watching it, basically, we followed the journey of this lady, the Dragon Queen, from being essentially a sex slave to being a dominant figure. And then at the end, spoiler alert, but it's the 48 hours have passed. In the end, she went nuts and she basically lost it and became a tyrant, as these lefties tend to do. And so here is Alexandria Occasional-Cortex and Elizabeth Warren discussing the ending of Game of Thrones.
So did you see Game of Thrones last night?
I did. I'm sad. I'm disappointed about it.
I was just really meh.
I feel like we were getting so close to having this ending with just women running the world.
Exactly.
And then
one
the
goes
last
crazy
two episodes,
right.
it's like, oh, they're too emotional.
Yeah, exactly. Can't do
The
that.
end. I was like, oh, this was written by
So
men.
I was even willing at the end to make a quick allegiance shift when Danny went nuts.
Right, right.
So I was over to Sansa.
Yeah.
I was like, Team
Yes.
Sansa. I will redo my shirts.
Totally.
The whole thing.
Totally.
And yet Sansa, who already is Queen of the North, thank you very much.
Right, right.
She walks away saying, and I'll still be Queen of the North.
I know. I was
Come on,
disappointed.
Sansa, go for the big one.
I was disappointed. We need to get some feminist analysis up in HBO.
They need some help on this.
They do.
There's something a little sinister and frightening about this. First of all, they're talking about the fact they're disappointed women didn't get to rule the world, but it can. They've got a new film out called When Women Rule the World, and the poster, it's not that encouraging. You know, it's this woman with two people's severed heads. One is a head that looks like Donald Trump. He's got a hat that says Make America Great Again, and she is wearing a very attractive bikini, so that's nice. Have you ever noticed, by the way, in science fiction movies, this is almost universally true, in science fiction movies where women rule the world, it's a male S&M sex fantasy. You know, if you see the pictures, it's always the women have a whip or something. I remember once being in this hotel room at, I don't know, 3 a.m, I'm channel surfing, and I came on this movie where they landed on this planet where women ruled the planet, and all the actors, so help me, all the male actors were like flamingly, overtly gay, and the women had these rods that extended, you know, when they pressed the button and they used them to torture the gay guys. I was sitting there looking like what am I watching? What is this show? I've never been, and Marianne Hartley is in it. I've forgotten the name entirely. It was just one of those channel surfing experiences, but it was really amazing. So all these movies are just fantasies, right? And what basically the left wants, what basically Democrats like Elizabeth Warren and Alexandria Occasional-Cortex want, is they want their fantasies to be broadcast over our television sets. So because they think if they change our fantasies, if they change the fantasies they're pumping in, the world will change. This is their idea that they can do this.